Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists, episode 731. My name is Kyle.
And my name is James.
And we're here to talk movies, movie lists, and the movie obsession for the next hour or so.
This is true. We are going to talk the movie obsession.
Yeah, not just movie obsession, but the movie obsession.
For sure. Definitely. You can definitely tell when Zach's out of town for a while, when you and I just start mainlining week after week horror movies.
I noticed that. I was like, Zach's not around. I'm going to admit, I'm a horror scaredy cat, but also like a horror wannabe fan. Like
Sure.
I want to, just because I think there is so much good filmmaking that happens in the world of horror, because I think it's such a creative space, because you're like, something terrible is happening, and then people just kind of run with that.
Sure.
But I don't like being scared.
Sure. Yeah.
And I find things, I really don't like grisly gore either. So it's like grisly gore I don't like, and I don't like shadowy figures standing in corners. Like those are just two things that upset me as a movie watcher.
Interesting. Having seen the movie, we're going to talk first.
I have a lot to
yeah.
say about
Sure.
obsession in those things.
Sure.
But at the same time, you know, like having seen Backrooms, having seen this movie, there's a lot of good filmmaking happening in the horror world, and a lot of it's happening on a budget too.
Mhm.
So I feel personally, by like saying I'm not gonna see a horror film, I'm just closing off like a good 25% good filmmaking that's happening.
Sure.
So I'm glad that, you know, when Zach's not around, you and I can be like, should we see horror? Yeah, let's do horror. Why not? And like kind of tip our toes into it.
Yeah. Also, like the horror genre, it always has been, but especially lately, it feels like it's just like a great entry point for young filmmakers to make something. If you do it right, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can make dollars stretch, and if you do it well, it can pay off in spades. And I think sometimes they're worth checking out just for that. But also, some people have different sensibilities, and I understand that. And some people just aren't gonna. It's not necessarily that they don't like horror movies; they're just not even gonna give them a try, and that's fair. I mean, that's just the reality of it, and that's fine. Like Zach doesn't necessarily like horror movies unless you can convince him there is something here for him beyond that type of thing. And certainly the movie we watched last week is one that I wouldn't shy away from recommending to him, because there are horror elements, but they're not the extremes that he doesn't like in these movies. But obsession, we'll have a discussion on whether that's a Zach recommendation or not.
This is a hard movie to recommend to people. I
sure.
think, I think there's certain person, you have to know a person well to say you should see Obsession, versus, you know what, you're not gonna like that, you shouldn't see this. Right? I agree. I think Backrooms is a little easier to get into for any person.
For sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
This one a little different.
Agreed. Okay. Well, I can't wait to talk that movie, Obsession, and also another one that we saw that we will get into.
Called Over Your Dead Body.
Yes, Over Your Dead Body. But before we do that, we need to remind everybody there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Go check it out there. Search Cinereelists, subscribe, watch while you listen. We'd appreciate that. Also, you could support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Cinereelists. Support the podcast, get extra after show audio, amongst other Cinereelist swag. You could leave us an Apple Podcast review, 5 stars only. That's free and easy to do if you are on an iPhone. Or you could send us an email, heyguys@cinereelists.com, REEL with an S on the end. Send a comment, a question, a list suggestion, a movie suggestion, any of those kinds of things, and we will discuss it on a future episode. One more thing, we are currently running a contest, I guess you'd call it, competition to win
a giveaway.
It's a giveaway, sure. Yeah. It's a giveaway, but you have to do something for it. Anyway, we're going to give away a vintage T-shirt from the 2002 M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs. This is an original t-shirt from 2002 that's never been worn, brand new t-shirt, vintage, on eBay, brand new, worth at least $75, maybe much more than that if you play your cards right. And the only way you could walk away with this vintage t-shirt from 2002, from the 2002 M. Night Shyamalan film Signs, is to just email us, heyguys@cinereelists.com, and either in one sentence or 10 paragraphs, it's up to you, tell me why you deserve it. Whatever that is to you, just let me know why you deserve to win this. This competition will end when I decide it's over, which could be tomorrow or it could be 6 months from now. Who knows?
Mhm.
So don't delay. Do it today. Send an email, heyguys@cinereelists.com. Links are in the description for any and all of the things we've just talked about. And we look forward to your entry. All right. You ready to jump in to Obsession?
I actually have a question for you
Okay.
before we get. What is behind you? Is that the couch behind you?
This is a bed.
Okay, there's a bed behind you.
There's a bed behind me in my
Okay.
Blu-ray room.
Yeah.
My nephew has gone back to school.
Okay.
He's in his late 20s. Well, mid to late 20s, I would say. I think he's 27. And he's gone back to school, and his school is like 15 minutes from my house and 45 minutes from his place, if not farther. It might even be farther than that. So during the week while he has school, he's been crashing here so that he does not have to drive home. He also does not like driving. He used to be an Amazon driver.
Oh,
and
so
that was detrimental to his mental health over time, I would say. And so the change in his professional life, which prompted him going back to school, was to, I think he wanted to leave Amazon. And when you don't really have an education or like a career goal,
right,
you're just looking at like, he worked at Walmart. He's worked at all the places that people work, and he's just realizing it's only going to get you so far unless you like pick a path here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really go for it. So that's what he's doing it. And so my way of supporting him in doing that is just come crash at my place if you have to. So if you notice the bed behind me on the YouTube videos, he's crashing in my Blu-ray room. It's definitely not a comfortable position, but it's what's available to him.
That's what he's got. Okay. Well, I was like, it looks different. I was trying to figure out what was behind you. I imagine as an Amazon driver, there must be a clock on you at all times. Like, it's just got to be stressful. Of like, you must be here at this time. And
for sure, I do not envy anybody who has to work for a corporate overlord as big as a Walmart or an Amazon. They just do not give a crap about you, to be honest. And
you are a cog in their machine.
Right. And fortunately, I've never really worked at a company that big. I have, but it was like, by the time I had those feelings about those places, I was long gone. But I'd encourage anybody listening. There were times when I had like opportunities and I was a little too scared to take them because I was afraid to move away from what was right in front of me, even if what was right in front of me wasn't the best thing for me. And so anybody who feels like frustrated and that's mixed with a little bit of fear of the future, if you pivot, I would say pivot. Every time I pivoted, it has worked out in the long run. And it was scary, but it always worked out. So, if I could give one piece of it, that's why I support him.
Yep, totally.
My nephew. Yeah. Whatever I can do within reason, I'm going to do. So anyway.
That's good. Good advice.
Let's pivot. Always pivot. Especially
take the opportunity.
Right. Trust your gut. Pivot. Right. Okay. Let's get into Obsession, which is in theaters now. We're going to talk all about it right after this clip.
Bear, I love you so much. I don't think I could live without you.
You love me more than anyone in the world?
Yes, more than anyone.
Nikki.
Yeah?
Does your dad really have cancer?
No. No, no, no.
What?
No, 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 don't do that! I thought we were having a nice date!
We are. Sit
Why
down.
does it matter? I thought we were having a nice
We are.
date!
We are. It's okay. We are.
That was Obsession, a 2025 American supernatural psychological horror film, written, directed, and edited by Curry Barker. This movie stars Michael Johnston, Indy Navarrete, Cooper Tomlinson, Megan Lawless, and Andy Richter, amongst others. I did not know that until I just read his name right now. Is that
You
the
didn't recognize him
Andy Richter?
Yeah. He owns the music store.
That just flew right by me. I mean, I saw that guy on screen, never once considered that was Andy Richter.
Yeah, that was him. I saw someone write something and they're like, I want to know what wish Andy Richter made to be able to run a music store with 5 full-time employees in the year 2026.
For sure. Yeah.
So, I was like, I think he's got in this wish business also.
Definitely. The IMDb plot synopsis for Obsession is: after breaking the mysterious one-wish willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. That's a pretty good plot synopsis.
I would say that's pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It lets you know what's happening without like letting you know what's happening.
Absolutely. Before we jump into our discussion on Obsession, just wanted to give you guys a heads up that what we're going to talk about right now is going to be spoiler free, just our thoughts on the movie in general, maybe a little bits of plot as covered in the plot synopsis, but nothing too much further beyond that. But there will be a spoiler filled discussion at the end of the podcast. After the podcast ends, right after the credits, just stick around and we will talk specifics about Obsession. There's not too many specifics that I can think of that are like crazy spoilers, because it's definitely a movie experience, I would say.
Yeah.
But there are some things to talk about beyond just the basic plot of the movie. So, all right, Kyle, Obsession. Do you want to dig into this first, or you want me to jump in?
I want to dig into this first.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, I'm just going to say I have not watched a movie that has kept me as unnerved or on edge as this movie has in a long time. Like maybe the first time I saw The Shining was the last time I was just like really feeling like anything can happen, because this movie makes you feel like anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And at no point, like once this movie gets going, I never felt safe anymore as a moviegoer. As in like, oh, it's gonna tone down or it'll give me breaks. Like sometimes you see a horror film and you know there's like a little break or like a little breathing room or things like that. And this movie, once it gets going, has no breathing room to it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I credit this movie for just keeping me on edge and in a state of panic for 100 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes it a good movie. It's a compliment to the filmmaker that like I personally felt like at any moment, I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's a credit also to the actors in this movie, especially, I mean, a lot of them talked about her. It was Indy Navarrete was her name. Yeah. Who plays the woman who's put under the spell to become, like fall in love with this man. She is incredible at being like both loving and clingy and incredibly intense on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There are moments where she just like is talking and then goes to a full on scream that is primal. And you're like, oh my goodness, like this movie could be silly in the hands of a different director or different actors, but with this director and then that lead performance, being that committed, I completely bought into this movie.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know what to say besides like I was just having a panic attack the entire time I was watching this movie.
Sure.
Like I had to go, I went up and went to the bathroom at one point, not because I had to like really pee. I just needed to get out of the theater for a moment and just be like, okay, you do not live in this world that this guy is living in, because you're kind of living. This movie is more or less from the point of view of the main character, right? It's this guy, you know, he's in the friend zone with this girl. He's too chicken to really tell her how he feels. So he buys some dumb novelty gift and like wishes, oh, I wish you'd love me more than anything in the world. And it works.
Mhm.
And you're with him the entire time. And once you're with him, she's with him also, because she never wants to leave his side. And she's so intense that there's just no breathing room in this movie whatsoever.
Mhm.
But I think I'm complimenting the movie.
Sure. I mean, I think you're complimenting the movie because I think clearly that was the intent.
Right.
And
yeah.
so not only did they probably hit that intent, but probably like if there's such thing as like a grand slam where you get 4 runs on the board, somehow they got 5. And maybe the 5th is just a little too much.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Not for everybody, clearly. But I had a similar experience. I wouldn't define it as a panic attack, but there were times.
Yeah, maybe
where
Panic Attack was a little intense, but definitely like
I understand what you were saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I was uncontrollably squirming
yes
in
yeah.
my seat,
Mhm.
like realizing at times that I literally had no control over squirming. And this was not during jump scare sequences or something like that. It was literally just the characters talking to each other.
Mhm.
And as the movie went on, I got more and more uncomfortable with just sitting.
Yeah.
And there's not too many movies that have been able to do that to me. And this is definitely one of them for sure. Anything else with Obsession before I get into it as well?
I mean, I will say, as a piece of horror filmmaking, I do feel like the director did lean on some, maybe tropes is not the right word, but I couldn't exactly tell you. There's not a monster in this movie, as in like there's not like a supernatural monster.
Mhm.
The woman that gets created through the wish is the monster, and there's times in the movie where they have her like, I think at one point she's walking backwards, but they obviously filmed her walking forward and then reversed it. There's another time, and we can talk about some spoilers, where she's in the background kind of like doing like the J horror like jerky walking.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I don't know if this movie exactly knows what kind of horror movie it wants to be.
Mhm.
Right? Like, does it want to be a creepy monster movie? Does it want to be this psychological torture movie? So I think that maybe felt some like growing pains to it, or the director's kind of be like, oh, I know this is creepy, I'm gonna use that. So there's a lot of bag of tricks in this movie,
Mhm.
and I don't know if all of them worked to make it like consistent in horror tone, but still, I had overall the same experience where I just felt uneasy and squirmy
Mhm.
throughout the entire film. I'm also going to say in my theater, I think there's something up with the sound, because like the trailers were totally fine. And then they did like, there was always like the intro to the movie, and that was excessively loud. And then the movie itself was excessively loud. So like every musical hit was like concert loud.
Mhm.
You know, so that probably just made it even more intense, that it was extremely loud to almost an uncomfortable level,
Mhm.
as well as just being physically uncomfortable with everything happening on screen. So, but I think that was more my experience in my personal theater. I didn't get up and like say, hey, turn this volume down. I just dealt with it, but it definitely felt like it was maybe the volume was a little on the higher end than they normally have it for that theater.
Interesting. I did not notice that on mine, so I don't think it was the mix in the movie. I think it was probably a mix in the room for you.
Yeah, no, right, because like I said, the trailers were fine. It was once the movie started and like the little preview stuff started, then it was like, okay, this is loud. But
Yeah, I will
that
say
just
though,
added to
it is definitely a loud movie when it wants to be. It has
Yes.
this drony, synthy score through the movie, and at times that droney synthy soundtrack would then like peak suddenly and like in place of a jump scare, sometimes aligned with a jump scare. And yeah, I it's definitely not a quiet movie at times.
No.
But the bulk of it was not loud.
No.
For sure.
But yeah, I kind of gave you my thoughts. What are yours?
I love this movie.
Awesome.
I thought it was it's comprised of pieces of things that we've seen before. Like you mentioned some of the acting choices presented by I guess what you would call the antagonist on some level. This is going to be the hard thing with talking about this movie, is just that all the pieces are things that we've seen before. They're clearly from like a filmmaker who has done their homework, probably grew up with some of these things, knows what he likes, and picked and chose what he liked, and basically wrote a story where those things being included generally makes sense to me. And then at the same time, it's clearly somebody who has done a lot of short films, a lot of skits for YouTube. You know what I mean? Like there's like a spirit to the movie of playfulness, both like not devious and devious playfulness. And because of the devious playfulness, the non-devious playfulness, the combination of the two just made everything feel uncomfortable, because you didn't know what mode the movie was in at any given moment. You know what I mean? Is this the playful moment, or is something absolutely awful about to happen?
Right. Are we in dark comedy, or are we just in dark horror?
For sure. Or like psychological horror.
Yeah.
Like the scariest part of this movie is not the 2 or 3 scares, or even the weird but great performance of the lead actor, actress, just for lack of a better word to describe her. It's not knowing what the movie's currently doing, where they're leading us.
Yep.
And the switch on a dime that you described is what made me uneasy. Once the movie started doing that, then I was like, okay, I can't trust this at all.
Nope, not at all.
To give me any signals as far as what's going to happen. And sometimes what happened was fast and violent, and sometimes it was slow and disturbing. And the combination of those two made it disorienting enough that, like we've talked about, it was an uncomfortable watch. I think probably what I like about it the most is that clearly all of that was on purpose, and a lot of it was motivated by the story they were telling too. It didn't feel cheap or included just so people will, horror heads will walk out of the theater loving it type of thing. It felt like it was, all of that was included because the director wanted it there to tell the story, and it totally worked on me for the most part. I felt like there was a little bit of a drag towards the middle of the movie, which was maybe on purpose, just to give people a little bit of a reprieve.
A little breathing room. Yeah, a little time for the heart rate to come down.
Yeah, this is also one of the few horror movies that I've seen in my life. I was trying to think of others and couldn't really come up with one that compares as well. That your protagonist is the victim in the movie. And that person is scary and sympathetic at the same time.
You're talking about the girlfriend, correct?
Yeah, the girlfriend.
Yeah. She is the victim. We can discuss this in spoilers, kind of what's going on, but like you look at the guy who made this wish, and you're like, he's the villain of the movie. Right.
Yeah, he's like the villain who, like you hear sometimes in true crime stories of somebody who's like a fairly good person, and they do this one small immoral act, and it works out for them. And so the next time they're presented with an opportunity that's immoral or whatever you want to call it, a wrong choice, it's easier to make.
Right, because the last one worked out just fine.
The last one worked out just fine. And so he is this snowball through the movie. He starts as a good guy, and by the end, there's still that good guy in him, but he's clearly lost the plot to what you feel is actually his core. Like even by the end of the movie, I don't necessarily feel like this is an evil person. I feel like this is a person that got himself in a quagmire, I would say, of his own making that includes other people. He's victimizing other people and not identifying where he's wrong until it's far too late to unwind without serious damage. And that's a true horror. You know what I mean? That is something that like broadly, I would hope most people deal with, and not to this extreme, certainly,
right? Yeah.
But to see it go to that extreme is scary because it feels like something any of us could slip into on some level. And then on top of that, the person who is presented as the antagonist of the film is generally a complete innocent, yeah, the combination of those two perspectives in the movie I thought was hard to suss as an audience member as I was watching the movie. So we're not being specific right now for reasons, but if you've seen the movie, I hope you can follow what I'm saying.
I do want to say that I don't think the guy was completely a good guy. I think, he definitely seemed like a nice guy, but he also didn't have the, I don't know, the patience, what's the word? The nerve, the assertiveness, the confidence to just express himself, right? Mm-hmm. There's that very awkward conversation. And, instead, not that he would expect this whole wish thing to work, but instead he chose the whole path of like, I'd rather take the easy path. And the easy path is I just wish this thing to happen versus the hard path of being like telling someone how you feel and having a conversation and knowing it may not go the way you want to go.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a moment where there's several moments, but there's a moment fairly early, really, after the wish where he crosses the line from like a redeemable bad choice versus an unredeemable bad choice. And we can talk about that in spoilers. So I think that like moral decline over the course of the movie, I think is probably what scares me the most. Is I don't think he started as that person. He just he wants something so bad that when he gets it, even if it's not by moral means, he wants it so bad that he's willing to chip away at like the core of who he is to keep it. And then again, by the time he realizes he's completely chipped away at his own morality, it doesn't matter. He's in too deep type of thing. And
he's also willing to destroy the object of his affection at the same time too.
That's like another theme of the movie is he does not see this person as a person. He sees them as something for him to get.
A trophy.
That
he can say, look what I got. I got my dream girl.
Right. And I don't think he even sees him as seeing her that way in the beginning.
Yeah.
By the end, he does. He understands where he went wrong on some level. I'm not sure he verbalizes it well enough, but that's how I felt by that finale.
He definitely makes some choices towards the end where you're like, okay, I think he recognizes the error of his ways now.
For sure.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get him there.
It's a pretty long journey.
Yeah, I would like to think if I was in that situation, I would recognize it a lot earlier, but you never know. I mean, your brain, the human will, our desires, sometimes we get carried away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even in real life, without magic wishes, people who start good get carried away.
Yep. Right.
But I like they do things they can't undo.
Yeah.
So, from a filmmaking perspective, though, I was really impressed. I thought there was motivation for like some of those acting choices, like the weird like pop and lock that she would do occasionally that,
Sure.
like you said, are very well known with like the Ring franchise and
Yep.
like stuff like that. A lot of American versions of J horror movie and the originals had that type of stuff. I felt it was more like her wish self. You know what I mean? The one that was generated by his wish, not fully understanding how humans are. You know what I mean? Or like not really having agency. You know, there's like a
right.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you know, element to her character where that she's like kind of fighting against over the course of the movie. And I saw it as that. But I could see how some people would be like, he packed a lot in this movie and not all of it
did.
is at 100%, I would say.
Right. I definitely want to discuss more of that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in spoilers. I think that's a great place to go with it. So
yeah. Also, I'd like beyond the movie, just talking about this movie right after talking about Backrooms, which had its own kind of riff on a well-trodden horror style, kind of the slow cinema horror style and stuff like that. These two movies just make me excited for just young people making movies with like clear inspirations, but like riffing on them in their own ways. I just and it seems like in the case of Backrooms, you're talking a 10 million budget, a decent sized studio A24, getting in early on in the development, supporting a young filmmaker. In this movie, it's a guy who has made his own short films, made his own movie that he released on YouTube. Him finding the money, less than $1 million, filming this in 20 days.
Yeah, that's
including his dad in writing the screenplay. You know what I mean? Like this is a person who made this movie on his own and then sold it for $15 million. And then that studio getting behind it, putting it in theaters, recognizing it's doing gangbusters and promoting it even more. You know what I mean? Like these are just two concurrent stories.
Right. Yeah.
Of young filmmakers using the tools that were never available to my generation and maybe even yours. You know what I mean? Getting an audience on YouTube and like cutting your teeth, not being fearless in that medium and then translating it to one that's going to reach a much bigger audience, certainly a much bigger age range of audience, putting something in a theater and being able to pull it off. I just think it's an impressive, I don't know if you can call it a movement yet, but it's just impressive and encouraging that like, I haven't seen everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think people, you know, especially in like the movie industry are so quick to write off Gen Z being like, oh, they just want their YouTube. They want their quick, they want their little shorts. And like, we're seeing Gen Z media, Minecraft movie, for example, not a great movie, made a ton of money, you know, and then these two horror movies back to back, both by younger filmmakers, both with YouTube credentials. Like people of all generations want to see movies. They want to go to the theater. They just need a good reason to go.
Sure.
And like, you know, Grogu's not the reason they're going to go to a theater. But seeing their, you know, people, their contemporaries who they recognize from this online space, like, oh, now they've broken through to this big space. This shows they're going to follow them. And I hope this, you know, I hope this ends the narrative of studios being like, oh, young people, they don't want to see movies. They don't want to go to the theaters. They just want to watch everything on their TVs. Like they don't, they do want to be in communal public spaces.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a place for movie theaters with that generation. It's just, you have to put things in movie theaters that they're interested in, that speak to them on some level.
Yeah. They're not going to see not Top Gun, whatever. Mission Impossible 8.
Right. Yeah. They hopefully one of them will create their own Mission Impossible version.
Exactly.
At some point. Yeah, for sure. And also like, not every movie has to be $200 million. You know what I mean? Even the Star Wars ones and the Mission Impossible ones, they can be an hour and 45 minutes. You know what I mean? They don't have to be 3-hour epics.
No, they don't have to be that long. They don't have to cost that amount of money.
Right. That's not, honestly, a 3-hour movie is not why I go to a movie theater. I don't care if it's 80 minutes or 4 hours long. Just make it good.
Yeah, it's like there's this idea of like, oh, movies are expensive. I must get the value for my dollar. Oh, I'm spending $20 for 90 minutes. I'm like, I agree. I don't care about the length of the movie. It's the quality.
Mhm.
And if it's a great 90-minute movie, awesome. If it's a great 4-hour movie, great too. But don't make it 4 hours just because I paid $20. Like,
Yeah, it's interesting that you're sitting in front of a Mad Max Fury Road poster, which was a very short movie by comparison to like,
yeah,
most of it. Even the prequel that followed it was much longer than Fury Road. And yeah, again, there's nothing wrong with Furiosa. It's just this Furiosa requires this runtime, and Fury Road requires that runtime.
right. Well, because Fury Road's not giving you back. I mean, it's been talked about ad nauseum. Fury Road builds a whole world through minimal dialogue. It does so much more show than tell.
Because that's the movie they were making.
Exactly.
And they made good versions of both, to be honest.
Right.
So, yeah, I want more voices. I want them to be more diverse. I mean, unfortunately, these two YouTubers are, white dudes, but not unfortunately, but I just want more diversity of age,
right,
of gender, of nationality, all of these things. It's not that I don't want to see middle-aged white dudes make movies. It's just we have a lot of those.
we have plenty of middle-aged white dudes. Like
right.
Christopher Nolan's gonna make a ton of money in a month, and everyone's gonna be fine with that.
It'll be
right?
fine.
So, exactly.
The middle-aged white dudes are doing just fine.
Yep. Yeah. Spielberg can make a ton of money next week.
For sure.
The Toy Story Pixar to make a ton of money in a couple of weeks. Like they're doing fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna be in like a Tarantino-esque run on YouTube, like filmmakers now? Like now that we have Backrooms and Obsession, like these two huge YouTube breakouts, our studio is going to be, like after Pulp Fiction, there was all these Pulp Fiction wannabes, and like, Guy Ritchie he obviously got his career on the back of the Tarantino style and everything. Are we going to start seeing like YouTube being pillaged of their creators to make movies?
I mean, I think definitely we will see more movies from YouTubers. I'm not sure there will be like a glut of bad ones that rise that get a promotional push. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Backrooms got an upfront big promotional push, but Obsession was in theaters for at least a week before I heard people start talking about it.
It has some weird stat where it has like the biggest third week jump since ET or something, like, it's one of those like super, but like just to show how unique it is. You also sent me an article that the studio was going to put it on streaming, and that like this week and then pulled it because it was making so much money in the theater. They're like, well, let's just let this thing breathe a little bit and grow. And
yeah, the original announced plan for digital release was 3 weeks after,
or
4 weeks after, something like that, and they rightfully so were like, why would we do that?
Right, we're making so much money at the theater right now.
I saw this movie at 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and it was almost sold out.
Yeah, I saw it like 4:30 on a Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know what it's like. Middle of the week, 4:30, theater half full. Most people were younger than I. Like I was on the older end of the people in the theater.
Yeah.
When the previews were playing, it was a pretty chatty theater. And I was like, okay. Once that movie started, it was silence. Like I didn't hear a peep from anyone during the movie, except for like people jumping and things like that. But
sure.
No one was holding conversations.
No phones open.
Started.
No nothing. Right.
Just no. It like that audience was pretty locked in.
Yeah.
Except for all of us taking the bathroom break panic attacks. So.
Nice. The other thing I did too was I was curious because when I bought my ticket and I saw that it was almost sold out, I was like, I wonder what Mandalorian and Grogu's doing. And they had it in like 3 theaters, kind of running 3 screenings. So you wouldn't expect it to be close to being sold out compared to a movie that's got 1 theater over the course of the day. But man, I went through like basically the screenings throughout the day for Mandalorian and Grogu, and it was, I bet if you added up all the tickets sold that I saw on the app, it was less than what was in that room at 9:30.
Oh, I think people who wanted to see Mandalorian and Grogu, they saw it. The word of mouth was, it's a good TV episode. And then
sure, they moved on.
you know, if you didn't care, you're like, well, I don't care about the TV show. I'm not going to go see this.
Yeah.
So,
it was impressive. We should say before we possibly move on and start talking some spoilers, which will again be at the end of the episode. The movie does have like two scenes that are like not just blood on people's faces. It is pretty extreme violence, I would say.
And I would say it's okay, yes, there's the one scene in the car, which is extreme. And there's some self-mutilation too.
Yeah.
Again, it's again pretty
not played for laughs.
It's not played for laughs, but it's also the camera doesn't like get up in it either. It's kind of played for shock, maybe is the best way to put it.
Sure. No, it definitely played for shock.
Yeah.
I also read that when they first submitted this movie to the MPA, it got an NC-17 and they had to remove 7 hits in order to get an R rating. And I'm just like, what is the difference?
Are we talking like in the car?
Yeah. 7. They removed 7 hits in order,
and they're like, okay,
in order to drop it to an R.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can talk about that in spoilers, but that scene went on pretty long already.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It was the version that they had in there was disturbing. I'm not sure 7 hits would have changed it one bit for me.
I always wonder if the MPAA, it's like, well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's like playing poker where you're like, maybe you put something in there that's I've heard filmmakers say this. They put something in their extreme that they know the MPA is going to flag, hoping to like sneak in the stuff they actually want. So there must be some calculus of like, what do you submit? You know, it's like any negotiation. Okay, I'm willing to sacrifice this. I can't sacrifice this. So, you know, what can I get away with?
Yeah. It has never made any sense to me. Not in any sense. I understand it, but I don't know. And a rating system clearly is necessary. I'm not saying we should not have rating systems.
I'm not anti-MPA. Yeah.
It's just hard to understand some of the decisions. Sometimes they don't make sense to me as an outsider, but maybe it makes sense to the people making the decisions. I don't know.
I mean, I'll say as a parent, the MPA is a nice baseline to start.
Sure.
You know, like I'm not going to say, well, we're still pretty firm on R-rated movies. But even some R-rated movies, I'm like, is it that bad? Now I think about it.
Sure. And there's some PG-13 movies where I'm like, I would never let my kids see that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like even Predator. Did you see Predator Badlands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about it together. Yeah. Like that's one of the most violent PG-13 movies I've seen.
Sure.
But it's robots with blue goo, so it's all fine.
Yeah. Even though they're humanoid robots.
Humanoid robots with blue goo.
Right.
Exactly. So.
Right. That's crazy.
Anyway, yeah. But no, I will not be taking Galen to see Obsession. I will not recommend this to Megan. I would not. Would you recommend this to Zach? I think that was the question we asked at the beginning of the podcast.
Son Zach, or I definitely would not recommend it to either Zach in my life.
Okay, either. Yeah, I don't think I would recommend this movie to Zach also, unless he was like, I've heard all about this movie. I gotta go see it. Like, okay, if you want to go see it for the hype, go see it, but prepare yourself that it's going to be.
Yeah, if he expressed an interest, if either Zach expressed interest in this, I would say it's very well made.
Yep.
It does exactly what it wants to do, which is make you uncomfortable and make you think throughout the entire movie. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's what it's going to give. And also, it's going to be extremely violent in flashes. Yeah. And so if you want to know exactly when that's going to happen, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? And so you can just be ready that that's going to happen. And I think it would probably mute your response to the movie slightly, knowing those things are about to happen, but not enough that you couldn't enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Because that's not what you're watching for anyway. So, okay. We have a lot to talk about in spoilers, so let's move on to that. Before we do that, though, we got to letterbox this. What are you going to give it out of 5 stars?
I've been really thinking about this for the last couple days because just of my response. I think I've given this 4 stars though, because I think this movie was very effective in doing what it wanted to do, and it got that reaction out of me. And I was impressed with the filmmaking, even though I don't know if I actually enjoyed my experience watching this movie in the moment in the theater.
Sure.
I think I'm glad after the fact, I'm glad I saw it. In the moment, I was like, God, this is nerve-wracking. So,
I mean, I feel the same way. I gave it a 4.5.
okay.
Also, I think this movie would be uncomfortable watching at home too, but man, it was fun to be in a theater with a bunch of people who were equally as squirmy.
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Okay. A 4 and a 4.5 for Obsession. Again, if you'd like to hear spoiler chat, just stay after the credits at the end of the podcast and we'll go right into it. All right. Next up, we have another horror movie. This one is it plays a little bit in the same world, but it's definitely a different take, I would say.
Little lighter, I would say.
Yeah, lighter in ways and more extreme in other ways, I would say. Okay, we're talking Over Your Dead Body, which is on streaming now. We're gonna get into it right after this clip.
Hey.
Hey.
How is it?
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Great. I picked these cuts out specifically. And those peppercorns, you can't get them on the East Coast. I had to order them 2 weeks in advance. From Ohio.
You ordered rare peppercorns from Ohio?
I did. I wanted this meal to be really special.
Why?
There's no why. I just wanted to cook you your favorite food, give you a really nice experience.
Steak's not my favorite food.
It isn't?
Nope.
But you eat steak all the time.
I like steak. Absolutely. It's not my favorite.
Okay. And what is your favorite food?
Ceviche.
Ceviche? Ceviche.
Ceviche.
The fish and citrus.
Yeah.
Funny. I've never seen you once order ceviche. Never have we been at a restaurant and you said, do you have ceviche? Excuse me. You want ceviche? I'll start with that.
That was Over Your Dead Body, a 2026 American action comedy thriller directed by Jorma Taccone and starring Jason Segel, Samara Weaving, Paul Guilfoyle, Keith Jardine, Timothy Oliphant, and Juliette Lewis. And basically just them, I would say.
That's about it. Maybe
Yeah.
Kevin the nurse also.
For sure. Over Your Dead Body, the official IMDb plot synopsis for this one is: a dysfunctional married couple retreats to a secluded cabin to repair their relationship, but each secretly plots to murder the other. Another decently complete plot synopsis. Before we start this discussion, we should say this is a discussion of the movie that may include spoilers. It's not the kind of movie where any of that matters, I would say. So we're not going to go out of our way to like ruin it for anybody or whatever. But if you, at the end of this discussion, actually want to see Over Your Dead Body, then, what can I say? Some of the things in it we might talk about. And it's not going to change your opinion of the movie,
Right.
or I doubt it will in the end. So that being said, Over Your Dead Body, Kyle, what'd you think of it?
So I was excited for this movie because it's Jason Segel, who I really enjoy.
Mhm.
And then I've recently, I don't want to say I've discovered Samara Weaving, but I watched Ready or Not a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I want to see Ready or Not 2, and then I saw that she was in this. I'm like, okay, like I think I enjoy Samara Weaving as an actress. I want to see more of what she's doing. So when I saw this movie's coming out, I'm like, great. Jason Segel, I like. Samara Weaving, interested by her. Jorman Taccone is directing it. You know, the Dean Amin is in here, Keith Jardine. So
yeah, that was wild to me because I did not know he was in the movie.
I had no idea either.
Yeah, until I like saw his name in the credits, and I was like, "Holy crap! I have not thought about Keith Jardine in a long, long time."
No, not since I was playing like UFC video games, 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Right?
So, yeah.
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 And then what he's doing in this movie too is pretty wild.
Yeah, he's doing. So we'll get into him and when he shows up in a little bit here. So this movie starts out with this unhappy couple. They're going to a cabin, and it's pretty clear that Jason Segel is planning on murdering his wife at this cabin, right? Because he's just so unhappy. He needs to get out of it. It's soon revealed that she had the exact same plan to murder him for very similar reasons.
Well, does she have the plan, or did she realize what his plan was? I think she realized what his plan was, and she's trying to beat him to it.
Oh, so she concocted her own plan. Okay, that's probably the case, right? That's probably the case.
But anyway, regardless, they're trying to kill each other.
They're trying to kill each other. And I really enjoyed like the first act of this movie because it's them, trying to get one up on each other. They're constantly, tying each other up, knocking their person out. There's these clever cuts where the movie cuts to like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, like it kind of jumps back. I thought that was a clever choice. I'm assuming the director made that choice to kind of like give you these backstories to all these moments. And it was violent enough, but not extremely violent, right? In that first act when they're just trying to like get back at each other. Then another group shows up, right? And at first that other group had a much different tone than this movie was going on, where they were a little bit more violent, a little bit more assaulty is maybe the best word to put it, especially with what Keith Jardine was about to do to Jason Segel. And I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know if I'm enjoying this tone as much as I was the first act of like this married couple that's not good at what they do. Like they're not professional murderers. They're just two people who think they're smart enough to get away with murder. Then criminals show up.
And they're clearly bad at it.
And they're, not the criminals.
Not the criminals, but the couple.
The couple.
They're trying to kill each other. They're just awful at it.
They're not good at it because they're not murderers, right?
Right.
Then actual murderers show up. And the tone kind of changed at this point. I was like, oh, this seems a little meaner now. And it's not kind of having this fun playfulness that I was getting from the first act. I will say that the movie for the third act did steer out of that. Like it kind of, the playfulness did return for me. Got a little lighter, but man, they really amped up the violence in the back half of this movie.
Yeah. Whatever's happening down in the basement was just like, it almost checked me out of the movie. I was just like
the whole like wrestling, and then we're going to capture you, and Keith Jardine's going to do things to you.
Yeah, I mean that's when the secondary group gets involved in general, and it just I wasn't necessarily even enjoying the cat and mouse of the married couple before that, but I was okay with that.
It was fun, I thought. The cat, right?
Yeah. And then it felt like the movie just wanted to be shocking for a little while, and like I don't know, I'd make some like establish new stakes for the plot itself, and I'm fine with the broad strokes of that being a part of the plot of the movie. It was the execution where I was like, this is no longer playful.
No, this is like people are going to get actually hurt now versus like this married couple who's bad at killing each other, trying to kill each other.
Yeah. For some reason it felt slapsticky when it was the two couples. And then when the secondary group got involved, then I was like, okay, I was on board until it was no longer slapsticky.
Right.
When it felt like it got serious. And I was like, I had watched Obsession that morning.
Okay,
so maybe it's like a residue or something where
you just weren't trusting any movie at that moment.
Yeah, it's possible that my viewing of this was colored by that for sure. But it just felt like Whiplash a little bit.
Yeah.
It made that progression made sense in Obsession to me, but it does not make sense in this movie to me. It didn't feel necessary, I guess, because the movie, like you said, does go back to being a more extreme version of slapsticky, but still slapsticky after that.
I would say once like the dad shows up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. It becomes Shaun of the Dead all of a sudden.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, now I'm back into this movie. I'm enjoying it again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that middle section, it changed tone, and it just became like, oh, now these people are in real danger. Like I didn't think they were in danger of actually hurting each other in the first third of the movie. Because they were
not in a serious way.
Not a serious no, because it's played for laughs where he was like gonna sneak up on her, like I got you now, and then she like tases him. But it's like it's a long tase. It's not like a quick one. Like they hold it for laughs of like how long can we have Jason Segel shake and drool here and wet himself. So and then it's let's have Jason Segel over a pool table. And you're like, okay, this is
sure
a different movie here. So
yeah.
But I mean, what did you think in the third act? They definitely amped up the violence and the shock violence, let's say, right? There's the lawnmower, there's shotguns going off,
heads exploding,
limbs being disfigured. What did you like tonally how that worked for you in the third act?
Honestly, I think the middle, the basement stuff turned me off so much that like I could not see that as slapsticky as it probably was.
Okay.
Like I got whiplash when the father shows up and things start going off the rails. I mean, even before that, like the lawnmower setup, right? When he's spoilers for Over Your Dead Body, when Jason Segel is having his head pushed into a lawnmower and it chops his fingers off, my brain was still in the basement.
You're right. I was like,
you know what I mean?
Was like, oh, these are sadistic people.
Yeah. I was ready to like witness awfulness. Hey, you do, even with the fingers, you know what I mean? Like that's just
that's
like
right there. Yeah.
Right. That's like, a half inch away from like something I didn't want to see, essentially. And then the grandfather shows up, or the father shows up, and it changes tone on a dime back to the playfulness of the beginning, but you still have these incredibly devious characters in the mix who are also being a little goofy. They're goofy even through like the harsher parts in the middle too, here and there.
Yeah.
It's just not. I couldn't read it as goofy because of the deviousness, I would say, and so. I mean, as a straight white guy, I don't know. Is it just what they're doing down in the basement that just irks me so much that I just can't? I couldn't see past it as like goofy. Maybe Jorma Taccone thinks that's goofy, and I just can't get there. I don't know.
I saw it just as sadistic. Like
yeah,
you have the spoiler-ish.
For some reason, the couple try to get one up on each other, even though that is sadistic too. They're doing it to each other, and they're bad at it.
They're bad at it. They're not enjoying it. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to hurt her. It's more like, I can't live like this anymore. I have to poorly murder her and have a terrible alibi to like get out of this life.
Right. You know? Yeah. And then the things that are happening in the basement are outside influence, and so whenever they're being goofy, like the Harry Potter references and stuff like that, I think that's meant to be funny, and it just didn't work on me because I was still just kind of like, this has turned into something that's not as fun to watch for me. And like we've talked about, there's a pivot at the end where things get goofy again. I just don't think I ever fully rejoined the movie once they started doing that. And then the climax on the boat is just so, I don't know, script writing 101 type stuff that I was just like, okay.
It was a bit of a redemption for Jason. It was a redemption for the couple on the boat.
Yeah. I wasn't against it. It just felt like the wackiness that preceded it was much. I don't know. I think I was checked out by then. No matter what,
it wasn't a wacky ending, right? Like,
yeah,
they get on the boat, and then it's actual stakes now, where you felt like the first third and the last third, it was more like, okay, how are these people going to survive this? Like, we know the stakes are pretty low. Obviously, they're not going to kill each other.
Yeah, it's interesting too that you mentioned Samara Weaving, you mentioned Ready or Not, because that's a movie that certainly has violence in it, played for laughs, and it picks a tone and kind of sticks with it. And I think it's possible that the director of Over Your Dead Body thought he was providing a consistent tone. He just pulled me out of the movie because it wasn't consistent to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. And couldn't fully get me back in the fun of what's happening. Because I do think he was trying to make a fun movie that exists in this horror comedy world. It just got too real for me in the middle.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the fault of the movie is you introduce these characters who are not fun. They're sadistic. They want to play this game they played in prison. You know, even Juliette Lewis, who's like the prison guard who helped them escape, you know, she's like, oh, we used to play this game back when we got bored. And, you know, Timothy Olyphant's like, I've killed a lot of people, but I haven't killed people with a lawnmower before. And I was like, wait, are you a serial killer? Or you're just like a bad person who's murdered people to get ahead? Like, which one are you? And because I never get the impression that he enjoyed killing people. Like, obviously he's a murderer, but I guess he's a serial killer now. Like, I thought he was just like a bank robber who would just kill people to, you know, get what he wanted or whatever.
Yeah. All three of that like invading group were just very much caricatures of themselves eventually. But it's like after the most disturbing version of themselves was presented.
Right.
And so I had a hard time with that. I struggle with like those scenes in the basement, specifically the one on the table. Was that a pool? Was it a pool table? I don't remember.
I thought it was a pool table.
Yeah.
Could have been a ping pong table. It was a gaming table of some sort.
I would like to think that if it was Samara Weaving on the table, I would also be disturbed as much. Maybe not though, but
I think it would be just as disturbing if it was her on the table versus him.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think you're right. I think Jordan Tacome was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if it was Jason Segel on the table and this is about to happen to him?
Right. Because if you do it to the wife, it's not funny anymore.
It's not funny.
It's funny if it happens to a dude. And
I don't think that was funny.
It did not work for me.
It did not work for me.
Whatever the calculus was, if that was part of the decision, it did not work. It's not funny to a guy or a girl.
No, it's not funny in general. Yeah.
Right.
So, well, and they even try to like make it a moment with the whole like, oh, is that your movie poster? And
right. That's why I say I think probably he wasn't trying to be. I don't think he was trying to do something that would take somebody out of the movie. I think maybe he thinks that's within the spirit of the movie as it was so far.
Yeah.
I just think it probably went too far for me. And I'm guessing most people, just based on your and my reaction.
This movie is like Ready or Not. Then it's Funny Games. And then it's Ready or Not again.
Yeah. Did you watch it with Megan?
I did.
What was her opinion on it? Okay.
I was not sure. Like in the middle, I wasn't sure. And then when it got to like the shocking violence at the end, which is kind of cartoony also, I was like, is she going to like this? And I got to the end and she was like laughing and she's like, I liked that. I'm like, okay, all right. And I think for her, it's the Jason Segel, Samara Weaving. That was enough buy-in
for
her. And even though the violence is shocking, they don't play it up a ton. I mean, for me, the most squirmy part was when Juliette Lewis was dealing with her foot that was injured.
That was pretty bad.
That was like, I was like, okay, this is, you know, but even like what happened to Keith Jardine, that was kind of played for woe value. The fingers in the lawnmower, that was a bit much.
The only part that really got me after the basement stuff was Keith Jardine dropping to his knees and then saying, Harry, I caught the snitch or something like that. For some reason, that worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It got like a mild chuckle from me. Yeah. Anyway.
I liked the Jason Segel puking scene.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Where he's like
on the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to confront the bad guy and just can't stop vomiting.
Sure.
So I thought that was clever. So
Yeah, I mean, like people vomit in stressful situations where you work out a lot.
Yeah.
Also just like blood loss, stress, stuff like that. So all those coming to a head at the moment when he needs to be the hero.
right.
It was a decent joke. It probably would have played better again if my brain had been engaged to the extent that I think Mr. Tacone wanted.
Yeah.
For an audience member. Having seen the movie, let's pretend Megan didn't watch it with you. Would you ever recommend this to her?
I would not have. No.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, it is interesting.
It's interesting,
that she ended up liking it.
I'm not examining your relationship or whatever,
No,
but
that's
just
fine.
like an assumption on what somebody would like. And then it turns out you're probably wrong.
Yeah. No. Again, I think the only reason I suggested that we watch it is because of the cast.
Sure.
I was like, oh, we like this cast, and George Tacone. So.
For some reason, I didn't watch the trailer. I barely even read a plot synopsis. It was just like the Rotten Tomatoes score and the
same, yep,
and the cast, and I was like, this will be fun no matter what.
Yeah.
And overall, I think it was. It just probably wasn't as fun as it should have been. Again, maybe if I had watched this like separated from Obsession, maybe I would have taken it differently. I don't know.
It's a crazy double header to watch Obsession at 9:30 in the morning. Again, I'm not sure how you function the rest of the day. Maybe it was just.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 9:30 in the morning for that one and like 9 o'clock at night for this one.
Okay.
Kind of the last moment for me to watch it. Not that was planned. It's just the way it worked out. So maybe I just should have been in a different headspace. I'm curious what other people who come to it not with that formula. Although you didn't come to it with that formula.
No, I watched a couple days apart.
I feel like you maybe weren't taken out quite as much as I was. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I would say the middle section I wasn't enjoying as much because again, it didn't have the fun that we got from the first half of just the two of them, being bad at killing each other.
Sure.
But like I said, once the father showed up, and that's when it's like, okay, this is gonna be a fun movie again. Because even then, like that whole after they got out of the basement, that's when like they're stabbing Keith Jardine. He's like this monster that won't die.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of they got out of the basement, and Megan's like, why didn't you lock the door to the basement? Like what?
Yeah, or like, why are you hanging around the house? Just run.
Right. And that's when they're trying to escape. I mean, it's spoiling now. They're trying to escape. The car crashes. Like at this point, you're scared for them. Like they're scared. So you're like, oh, this is a real situation for them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with the idea of like, this couple has issues. Clearly, they literally want to kill each other, and then something happens, and outside pressure comes into the situation, and now they realize they actually do like things about each other, and they should work together in order to live through this. That conceit I'm on board for. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, everything aligned for me to check out early, and it just could not get me back, no matter what. Also,
Fair,
like
yeah.
Jorma, if you look at his like movies he's directed, this may be the first one that I didn't vibe with that he directed. He directed MacGruber and Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping.
Okay,
MacGruber's fine.
It's fine.
A lot of people really like that movie.
Yeah.
I don't care one way or the other, but Pop Star I like a lot.
That's great. Yeah.
He's also a producer on Palm Springs and Brigsby Bear, Hot Rod. These are movies I like.
Yeah.
So they can't all be for you. I don't think there's enough here that even if I just wasn't in the right headspace, that it's worth me revisiting over.
I'm not going to watch this again, nor if they make a sequel. I don't really see why there'd be another one of these.
Yeah. Speaking of sequels, I watched Ready or Not 2 this week.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
You're
gonna like it as much as you like the first one.
I liked the first one a lot.
Yeah.
Like I gave the first one 4 stars.
It's a
just
different.
because I think the tone of Ready or Not is perfect.
They keep the tone.
Yes.
And it's not, about like a wife, marrying into a family and not knowing the specifics of that family, I would say. It's more about like it's an expansion of the universe.
Sure. Okay.
It's John Wick versus John Wick 2.
Okay. Yes.
Essentially.
Just going bigger. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, the spoiler alert for Ready or Not. The family she's married into pretty much all dies in that movie.
Yeah.
And so in the second one, it's like, well, who's going to be her adversary in this one? Well, you got to wonder how that family, came up with this idea. And
Right.
so
How did they get there in the first
that's what
place?
part 2 deals with.
Yep.
So it was good.
Well, and I also like in the first movie that the family that had to participate in this most dangerous game scenario wasn't good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what made the tone more enjoyable. It's like I'm not watching a person being hunted and scared for their life. Yes, that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're being hunted, they're scared for their life. But the hunters are not good at it.
Sure.
Like, the hunters don't even really want to do it either. They're like, oh, this is what we have to do. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more of that in the second one.
Okay.
For sure.
I do want to see the second one. I think Megan wants to see it too. So and if you have any other Samara Weaving recommendations, let me know. Because
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen her in anything other than Ready or Not movies and then this.
I do like that she was using her accents. I assume that's her. I mean, I know she's Australian. I assume she's using her natural accent in this movie. And I just like that, Jason Segel was just ripping into her Australian accent. Another reason why he hated his wife was because of her accent, which I thought was a clever moment. We didn't even talk about, there's a third guy at the first act of this movie.
There's a third guy in
The accomplice. Remember Jason Segel as an accomplice?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's in it, but I mean,
But I think his kind of character as the third person is the right tone, where he's kind of dumb.
mm-hmm.
He's there for like the wrong reasons. He keeps talking and running his mouth, making the situation worse.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I like this third character in this tone of this movie of everyone kind of bad at what they're doing.
Yeah. I agree. It's when they introduced the professionals to the movie, the professional sadists. Then it was
Yes.
like, okay,
Yeah.
is this going to be the whole movie? And it wasn't, but
No, but
it took me out enough that
I hear you.
So Samara Weaving's been in a bunch of stuff that I've seen. You probably seen 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
She played the murdered daughter, right?
Maybe. I don't remember her in that, but probably that's.
I think she's barely in it because she played the murdered girl.
She's in a movie called Mayhem that I've seen that
Nope.
stars Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
That's a good violent action movie, I would say. Good. Worth a waste of time some night if you're in the mood for it. The Babysitter I've seen, Ready or Not, we talked about. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
She was Bill's daughter.
Okay.
That's right.
She was in Snake Eyes. Did I see Snake Eyes? I don't remember that movie.
With Nicolas Cage?
No, the G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, okay.
From 2021.
Must have been a child if she was in the Nicolas Cage one, but
Yeah.
I never saw Snake Eyes. Yeah,
Seems like the kind of movie I saw and completely forgot about.
I mean, it probably was either in the theater or just went right to streaming. It was 2021.
Yeah, could be. She was in Scream 6, which I saw and don't remember her in. Babylon. She was in Babylon.
Wait, who was she? I mean, Margaret, her doppelganger was in Babylon. What was she doing in there?
Sure. I don't know. I mean, she's probably barely in it. Samara Weaving. What's her character name? Constance Moore. Babylon. It's riveting, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. This is the sound of James Googling.
Okay.
Or possibly DuckDuckGoing if he's been, changed his ways.
She's like the actress, or was there like a female director? The like on set scenes that are like outdoors.
Outside, yeah.
Is there a female director in that sequence?
I don't remember. Does it look like she's directing a movie in the picture you're seeing?
No.
Okay. I'm looking.
I don't know.
Are Weaving Babylon.
She's like the woman that's like directing. Remember they're like moving from scene to scene. It's outdoors, but there's like sets built outdoors. And they're like pumping movies out because it's like Hollywood in the 20s or whatever. And she's like an abrasive woman who's being mean to the female actor in the scene.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, with the dark hair and the makeup, it actually doesn't look much like her.
Right. Yeah.
The period clothing.
And she doesn't have a big role, but
no. Okay.
She's definitely in it.
But if we're talking like big roles, it seems like Ready or Not 2.
Yeah.
Those have her big starring roles.
Oops. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, anything else with Over Your Dead Body?
No, I mean, I'm curious to see where we letterbox it. I think I liked it a bit more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
But that could just be because you saw Obsession the morning of it. You were still in the zone of I don't trust movies.
It could be that. Yeah. Although maybe I would have been able to snap back into it. I still think that the table scene is just a little too far for me.
No, I completely agree.
Not necessarily that that's just in a movie. It's just in a movie that's trying to be violently fun. That was not fun.
No, that was not fun. It was just sadistic.
Right.
And, yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Let's letterbox this. What are you going to give it out of 5 stars?
I'm going to give it 3 stars.
Okay. I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Which I think there's better versions of this and there's definitely worse. And so it's somewhere in the middle.
This movie is a remake
of a French movie. Yeah. I'm curious to see the tone of that. French?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I think it's well, I think it's Numi Rapace might be in it.
Really?
Yeah, so it might be Scandinavian.
Maybe I should watch that. And I mean, this is directed by a Lonely Island guy. One of the 3 Lonely Island guys, which if you don't know is like a sketch comedy group that eventually got hired for SNL. And they're also parody musicians. But anyway, where was I going with this?
I have something about this. Oh, yeah,
maybe the original is just a different tone. You know what I mean? Like maybe Jorma tried to turn it into like this Looney Tune-ish type thing. Maybe the original's not quite that. I don't know.
I imagine if the original is Scandinavian, starring Numi Rapace, it's probably darker.
Yeah, darker or maybe not quite as Looney Tunes as this one gets. Yeah. I want to see this now.
we didn't mention it's kind of spoilery. I really liked the short film at the end of this movie. If you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
They make a movie about the movie at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as well.
I thought that was maybe the funniest gag of the whole movie.
Dude, the
stunt casting.
Spoiler free, yeah. The stunt casting at the end was pretty great.
Yeah,
it took me a little bit to realize what was going on.
Right, it did, and I was like, "Is that so and so?" I'm like, "It is." Okay, that's a great stunt cast right there. So,
are you watching
Taskmaster?
Yeah.
Yes.
It reminded me to watch it, and so I just watched like episode 1 and 2 today.
Yeah.
And is the season over yet?
No. I think they're on episode 9 because we're watching week to week. So I think number 9 just came out. So
maybe by the time I'm caught up, they'll be on the final, which will be perfect timing.
I think it's a pretty good season. I like the cast.
I like them too so far.
Yeah. I can't remember her name. The blonde woman who's Welsh.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice this every single prize task she does. There's like a 5-minute story to her prize task.
They make a joke about that in one of the first episodes that I've seen. It continues.
It continues every single one. She was like, "This is a so and so that was given to me when I was 6 years old," and she just goes on and on. And Greg and Alex are just like, they don't know what to do. Like they don't know how to stop her.
Interesting.
The egg gag that the one guy had to do. That's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, so far he's had to pull out that egg like 6 times, and I've only seen like the first 2 episodes.
I know. It just to see. I love that first moment when like they ring the bell and he's digging his pants, and Camille's like, what's happening right now? What are you doing?
It's been a while too since we've seen like a good prank on that show. Prank, whatever you call it, prank.
Oh yeah.
Task.
Yep.
Which I'm glad they did, because it probably made the contestants kind of forget that that's even a possibility.
Right. That could happen.
Yeah.
Well, there's the one prank where his name was Mark. I can't remember. He's kind of like had like a beard and long hair. And he was given the task where he'll text Greg every single day until the studio shows.
Right.
But only he was given that text.
Yeah.
So like he just every single day he had to think of something new to say to Greg, and I thought that was another great prank one.
Yeah. There was another one too where they made this woman go on tour with like a what do you call it? Like a little troll.
Oh, like a
doll.
gnome. Yeah.
A gnome. Yeah, that's what it was. A gnome. And she like took pictures all around the world while she was on tour with it.
Yeah.
And then she got there and they're like, you're the only one that had to do that.
Yeah. Those are.
But the egg one is probably the worst of all of them so far.
Right, because he has to carry that with him at all times. Like the task is you must carry this egg with you at all times, and take it unbroken every time you hear the spell. Like,
yeah.
That's so mean.
And from my understanding, it's like 2 or 3 months from when you stop filming before you record those audience segments.
Right. Yep.
Because they essentially have to edit the show the first pass. They have to edit all the segments before that even happens.
Yeah, for the live stuff. Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah.
People that are listening that haven't seen Over Your Dead Body have no idea why we're talking about this.
Why we're talking Taskmaster. I mean, this is what happens when there's a lot to say about the movie and we're kind of like, then we just go on these tangents. If it's like Obsession, when there's a ton to talk about, like we got like 5 minutes of intro, then went right into Obsession.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we're excited for the movie versus when we're kind of it's fine.
So Over Your Dead Body has 69% Rotten Tomato, which is not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
The original, 83%.
What's the original called?
The Trip.
The Trip. Okay.
A dysfunctional couple head to a remote cabin under the guise of reconnecting, but each has intentions to kill the others before they can carry out their plan. Unexpected visitors arrive, and they are faced with a greater danger. Sounds exactly what the movie we watched was.
I'm wondering if this is like a force majeure / over the hill situation.
Yeah.
Right. Where like, force majeure is the serious movie about the family on vacation and the choice the dad makes. And then Over the Hill is like the Will Ferrell, Julie Louis-Dreyfus slapsticky version of the same story. So
it's on Netflix. So
how long is it?
Check it out. That's a good question. I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't give you that.
No, Rotten Tomatoes won't give you runtime.
No, 1 hour 53. So the very bottom of the page.
Okay. All right. So
and it's
doable.
It's in Norwegian.
Okay.
Which makes sense with
I bet you it's not slapsticky at all. I bet you it's way more serious.
Probably. Okay. I'll read this one review blurb.
Go.
There's a whimsical Wes Anderson-like quality to the way Werkela, which I'm guessing is the director, introduces characters and plot twists, though the tone is more Martin McDonagh with a dash of Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
That was a positive review from IndieWire.
So we're getting In Bruges mixed with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. The most liked negative review, the blurb for that one says, unfortunately, while its concept promises a fun, agile thriller, the trip all too quickly descends into a juvenile, nihilistic mess.
Mm-hmm.
Also sounds like the movie we just watched.
That review could work both ways.
For sure. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to this episode 731 of the Cinereelists. Don't forget, check out the video version on YouTube, support us on Patreon, leave us an Apple Podcast review, send us an email, try to win that vintage t-shirt from the 2002 M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs. Links are in the description to do any and all of those things. Also, you should follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at Cinereelists, or you can follow me on my personal Blue Sky or Letterboxd account at YoJRB. You can
Find me on Letterboxd at PeterSKB.
Next week, as long as all the stars align, all three of us will be back, possibly talking Disclosure Day, possibly talking Toy Story 5, possibly talking The Death of Robin Hood. We don't know exactly. We'll probably talk about all those at some point. We don't know which one's next. But regardless, we'll see you guys there one way or another. Until then, keep it cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.